Finally, there's a fight that we casual boxing fans can get excited about without the last name Paul fighting in the main event. We've been waiting for Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia, and Saturday night, we gonna get it. Jared Schwartz is the New York Post boxing reporter and got a chance to talk to both of the fighters, and I got him on the line to add to the hype. Jared, thanks for joining us. Not like it needs any more hype, but finally we got Davis, Garcia going down on Saturday night. But before they get into the ring, you actually spoke with both fighters. So let's start with Tank. What's his mindset heading into Saturday night?
I hope you were excited to talk to me as you were to watch the fight tomorrow night.
Always, man. You got a new haircut, man. Always.
Like you said, I spoke to both fighters before this fight, and it was funny in talking to Gervonta Davis. I tried asking the question, what makes the difference between just two of the most talented fighters in boxing? And before I could, finish, after I said two of the most talented, he said, hold on a second. Who's the most talented? And wanted me to clarify that there's only one of them is the most talented. He obviously thinks he's a level above Ryan Garcia, that only one of them himself will be one of the most talented boxers in the sport. But make no mistake, he knows it's the biggest fight of his career. It's the biggest moment of his career. It's certainly the most lucrative moment of his career. Look, he doesn't hold that much respect for who Ryan Garcia is as a boxer. He holds respect for who Ryan Garcia is as a personality or as an attraction. But he's not overlooking Ryan Garcia by any measure.
Well, Ryan Garcia, this is a big fight for him to take some of that respect, because some people are saying that he doesn't even have the accolades or even the major titles to even be in this fight. So after the conversation that you had with him, what's his mindset like? And do you feel like he thinks he's the underdog?
That was interesting too, and I asked him that question. He's only 24 years old. He doesn't have a lot of the accolades. A big part of this fight is that it's being billed as for the face of boxing, or whoever wins will be the face of boxing, and perhaps the biggest star in the sport, or the next biggest star in the sport. So how did Ryan Garcia get here so quickly? That's what I asked him. And he doesn't shy away from that. A big part of it is his social media following, is his, just attraction almost outside of the ring. Tank Davis, told us that he doesn't think Ryan Garcia is all that in the ring. He sees him more as an influencer, as a celebrity. Ryan Garcia doesn't shy away from that. He knows he got here quicker because of his social media following, because of all his followers, because of what he does outside the ring. But he made it a point to say he backs it up inside the ring. He backs it up with viral knockouts and knockouts that fans love to see. Look, he's a pretty big underdog. I think he's going for plus 190 odds at this time, but he's certainly not acting like it. He's full of confidence. I know every fighter carries confidence going into a fight, but he's certainly been confident. He certainly hasn't backed down from Gervonta Davis in his press conferences. But he's also had to act like the underdog. He had to agree to Gervonta Davis's rehydration clause. He had to agree that Gervonta Davis has a rematch clause while he doesn't. So he's had to deal with all these other, all these things, being on the quote unquote B side of the fight. But he's certainly confident that he's not the B side of the fight when they actually get in the ring.
So I opened up this interview saying that casual boxing fans like myself are finally excited for a fight that doesn't have a Paul brother attached to it. You've been covering the sport for a long time. How big do you think this fight is going to be for boxing?
I mean, flatly, it's probably the fight of the year this year, at least, or at least so far this year. It's the most anticipated fight. How many times have we seen, these fights like this with, between two of the biggest stars in their primes fall out, whether it was Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford, or, more recently, Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk. We see the hype building, we see the rivalry building, the two fighters trade words on social media, they start to have the talks, and then all of a sudden it's, all right, something that this promoter said this promoter wanted that, and it falls out. So these two of the biggest stars in the sport actually getting in the ring is really needed. And I think what's really most important is that they're both in their primes. We've seen in the past, especially with Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao, we got that fight, but it was when they were way past their primes, way later in their career. These are two guys firmly in their prime, firmly at the height of their powers, and firmly trying to take that next step as the biggest star in the sport. And we'll see. The winner likely has a good, likely I can say that he's either the biggest star in the sport or the next biggest thing.
Well, I'm still trying to get some of that 100,000 cash that Tank Davis counted out the other day. I had my eyes on that. Tomorrow night, it all goes down. Garcia Davis. Jared, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Brandon. Always a pleasure.